Taehyung sharp eyes follow every movement of the man who had just entered the room. He had purposely ignored him earlier in the car, but now face to face, there was no escape. There was something about Jungkook, the way he carried himself, the way the air around him demanded attention. He was a man of a hot line. It saw in every step he took. Taehyung had heard enough about him. The name Jungkook was well known, not just in Korea but Europe business world. He wasn't just successful, he was powerful, and yet despite all the power he had, he still called, rejected Honey and shattered her already broken heart. A bitter smirked her and Taehyung let Jungkook noticed the look and returned is beautiful. There was something about this woman and something oddly familiar. She was beautiful, no doubt, but Jungkook couldn't shake the feeling that he had seen her somewhere before. Or maybe it was just because she was carrying his child. He paused the thought aside. It didn't matter, Jungkook. I hope you cooperate and take care of your baby. My hair must be burnt healthy and more things. His voice turned sharp. Don't try anything funny. I had connection everywhere. You would want to test me. His words were laced with quiet but firm threat. Taehyung let out a sharp chuckle, tilting his head slightly. Taehyung, why does Mr. Jeon think that way? I sign up as a surrogate, didn't I? Of course, I will take care of the baby. He spoke quickly, but his smile held something unreadable. He deliberately ignored the part about something funny. Jungkook narrowed his eyes like listening. Something of what he let it slide. Jungkook, good. Fix yourself. We are going home. Taehyung had expected this. It was not surprising that a man like Jungkook wouldn't leave things unattended. If he was staying in New York, there had to be a region without another wall. He got up from the bed, adjusting his coat before walking towards the door. Youngie was already waiting in the parking lot, standing by the car. As soon as he saw Taehyung approaching, he hurried to open the door and help him sit in the back seat. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. A funny expression crossed his face as he stopped by the car waiting. Youngie had just ignored him. The man who had been his assistant for a year had opened the door for someone else but left his own boss standing there. Jungkook cleared his throat loudly. Youngie blinked, suddenly realized what he had done. His eyes widened in middle panic, and he quickly rushed to open the door for Jungkook. Youngie, boss, I was just making sure Miss Hana was comfortable first. He awkwardly rubbed the back of his neck. Jungkook stepped inside smoothly, casting the side glance at his assistant. Jungkook, I thought you forget your job for a moment. He smirked with mock disappointment. Youngie let out a nervous chuckle. No, boss, never. Jungkook shifted his gaze to Taehyung, who was quietly looking out the window. For a moment, he studied her. Her posture was relaxed, but there was something distant about her. Unlike other women who would have taken this opportunity to talk to him, she remained completely uninterested. Breaking the silence, he finally spoke. Jungkook, do you feel like eating something? Taehyung turned to face him, her expression natural. Taehyung, Mr. Jeon, she started her tone Taehyung, Mr. Jeon, she started her tone firm and polite. When I signed the surrogacy contract, it was calmly written that the surrogate should not have any special connection with the client. So, her words were spoken so calmly yet they felt like a slave. Jungkook blinked. Was he just rejected? For the first time in his life, someone had dismissed him so easily. A strong and familiar irritation stirred inside him. Jungkook, the contract was written by my lawyer, he said curtly, and yes, it's right, but I still want to ensure the baby's health and that you don't do anything reckless. Taehyung let out a soft laugh. Taehyung, reckless? Oh, Mr. Jan, are you speaking from experience? Have you done something in the past that made you afraid of karma. She gave him a silly smile. No need to answer. Let's just forget about it. Jungkook just him. This woman, she knew how to push button. He was about to return, but Yoongi quickly stepped in. Yoongi boss, and Dr. Smith especially said Miss Hannah should not be stressed. It's important for the baby development. Jungkook exclaimed, slowly placing his finger against his temple. Right, the baby. This person was lucky if she was not carrying his hair. He was not sure if he would be able to tolerate her sharp tongue. The whole ride went silence until they reached the penthouse. Taehyung locked himself in his room and chit-chat with Honey, saying that he process is completed. He just need to wait for a week of month to stabilize his condition. Later that night, Yoongi knocked on his door and headed from food after saying that he would leave with Jungkook. Jungkook fit the expensive bottle drink in his glass, watching the amber liquid catch the liquid before taking a slow sleep across from him. His friend who glued to his laptop finger, tapping away. No, this is so unfamiliar here. I am working like crazy for my musical career, and you are just sitting there drinking. Suno and rubbing his back of his neck in frustration. Directing was exhausting. Jungkook is smirking, leaning back on the couch. Jungkook, that your choice, isn't it? Why do I feel like you are blaming me for it? He paused for a moment and then added teasingly, should I call your boyfriend from Seoul to help you out? At his words, Suno's entire face turned bright red. Suno, shut up. What boyfriend? I don't have one. He waved his hand dramatically, clear, flustered, and then it's an attempt to change the subject. He quickly asked, anyway, how is the surrogate? Jungkook smiled as he set his glass down, a face flashed in his mind, soft features, sharp eyes, and a strongly familiar presence. He let out a deep sigh. Jungkook, the process is done, but he hesitated, running a hand through his hair. I can't shake this feeling that I know her from somewhere, and there's something familiar about her. He reached from his drink again, and I have this instinct that she is up to something, not exactly a joke, but something serious. Suno rolled his eyes and shut his laptop with a loud snap. Suno, man, you are just paranoid. He grabbed a glass and poured himself a shot, taking a quick sip. Not everyone is out to track you, Jungkook, but he didn't look convinced. Jungkook, maybe he just afraid of being fooled. After all, trust was not something he gave easily. Taehyung lay comfortably on the bed, one hand resting levelly over his stomach. The past few weeks had gone smoothly. His pregnancy was progressing well, and there was no complications so far. To his surprise, Jungkook rarely interacted with him. They spoke occasionally, but the conversation was short and distant. Yet, despite keeping his distance, Jungkook made sure he was well taken care of. Every few days, he spent fresh fruit and nutrition meals for Taehyung. The food was already carefully selected, meant to keep him and the baby healthy. It was unexpected, and now the time for Taehyung to leave was driving near to smirked to himself, finger tightened lightly on the blanket. Jungkook would be furious when he found out that would be his punishment for rejecting Honey so easily. Jungkook was just about to close his eyes when his foot vibrated on the nightstand. He sank the moment he saw the caller ID. he already know that this call was about. Still, he answered Jungkook. Yes, mom. His voice was flat, so no excitement. Mrs. Johnson, I heard that Honey was very sick recently. Why don't you visit her? Where are you right now? At the mention of that name, Jungkook immediately felt irritated. She didn't even ask how he was doing. She never did. Jungkook, I am in Mayhap. His voice was emotionless. I come to visit the surrogate I found. And then, with a mocking tone, he added, Congratulations, mom. You will be a grandmother in a few months. A sharp gasp came from the other end of the line. Mrs. Young, shut up, don't give me a grandson made from a test tube. She snapped angrily before you come home. Make sure you visit the Kims. And just like that, the calendar Jungkook threw his phone onto the bed, rubbing his temple in frustration. Of course, it was never about him. It was about what he wanted, a marriage for wealth. Jungkook stared at the ceiling, his thought spinning. His mother had been pushing him to marry Honey for years. Why? Because Honey was sickly. She wouldn't live long, and once she was gone, her inheritance would belong to him. A strategy marriage, a perfect business move. That was all they cared about. But Jungkook didn't want her. He didn't need her wealth. He had built a group of companies with his own hand. His success was not handed to him. It was earned. Why would he taken something that was not his? His parents didn't understand that. They never did. They only saw marriage as a tool, a way to America wealth and power. If only they had been different. If only they had been once needed. Because if they were marrying with Kim would have been a bad idea, but not with Honey, with her twins Mother Taehyung. A man that made his heart ache. If things had been different, Jungkook would have proposed him. He would have made him his, even if Taehyung was cold and distant, even if he acted like he didn't care. Jungkook would have fought for him, but in this life that was impossible. And so that night he finally closed his eyes. Taehyung was the only person in his mind. Taehyung's eyes fluttered open as a wave of nonsense hit him hard. His stomach gurgled violently. He barely had time to think before he bolted towards the bathroom, falling to his knees as he emptied his stomach into the toilet. Taehyung, so this is pregnancy, he mumbled weakly, leaning his head against the cool bathroom wall. His body felt exhausted, his throat burning from the acid. After a few deep breaths, he reached for the sink, turning on the faucet to slap cold water onto his face. When he finally looked up at the mirror, a familiar and slightly different version of himself started back. The long, silky hair extends. His delicate features and soft curl made him look beautiful. He traced his finger lightly over his stomach. A life was growing inside him. He had to be strong, and this was not just for him. This was for Honey, for her happiness. There was no room for forget. Taehyung stepped out of his room, considering making himself a light breakfast, but his body still felt weak. Just as he reached the kitchen, the doorbell rang. Thinking it was Yoongi, he opened the door without hesitation and kept curling unwell. Jungkook, what are you doing walking around barefoot? What if you catch a cold? My child will be affected. Before Taehyung could react, Jungkook stepped inside, pushing him gently out of the way. Jungkook, I brought you breakfast. Taehyung blinked in disbelief. What was this man doing? This wasn't part of the contract. He quickly followed Jungkook to the kitchen, ready to set thing straight. Mr. Jeon, you are breaking the rule of our agreement. You should not be doing this. Please leave. Jungkook didn't even spare him a glance. Jungkook, sit and eat, he said firmly, pulling out a chair. Taehyung frowned, ready to argue, but suddenly his stomach clutched again. His face filled. Without another word, he turned and ran towards the bathroom in the living room, barely making it in time. Jungkook stood frozen for a moment before following him. When he reached the bathroom, he saw Taehyung crouched over the toilet, his body shaking. Without thinking, Jungkook stepped forward and gently rubbed Taehyung's back. Jungkook, are you alright? His voice had an unfamiliar softness. Taehyung didn't answer. He was too weak to drain, but in his heart he was scolding. Jungkook, your whole family is alright. Jungkook helped him wash his face and even handed him a towel. Taehyung raised from it but suddenly lost his balance. Before he could fall, Jungkook instantly caught him. Taehyung's body leaned against Jungkook's firm chest. For a moment, everything was silent. Jungkook's arms tightened. Something felt different. His brow forward. Hana's body was soft, but why did it feel too firm? And his chest was surprisingly flat. Jungkook's mind raced. Confusion settled in, but before he could process anything, Taehyung quickly stepped back, breaking the contact. His heart pounded in his chest. That was too close, too careless. Taehyung, please leave. I feel weak. I want to rest. Without waiting for a response, he turned and walked straight to his room, closing the door behind him. Jungkook stared at the closed door. His thought struggling. Coming here seems like a mistake, but why did he feel so unsettled? Shaking his head, he pulled out his phone and dialed Yoongi's number. Jungkook find a good restaurant in, get a nutrition meal for pregnant woman and bring it to Hana's side. Yoongi understood pause. Jungkook exclaimed, glancing at the door once last time before turning away. He needed to go back to Busan, but something about Hana was bothering him. Taehyung locked himself inside his room, his hands slightly trembling as he quickly dialed Hani's number. The phone rang twice before his twin sister picked it up. Hani, Taehyung, what's wrong? Taehyung paced the room, pressing a hand on his forehead. Taehyung, Hani, Jungkook was here. A sharp gasp came from the other end of the line. Hani, what? What was he doing there? Taehyung, he brought breakfast, but I couldn't even eat it. I threw up everything, Hani. I have to leave immediately. The longer he stayed near me, the more I felt like he will find out the truth. There was a brief pause before Hani spoke again, her voice calm and firm. Honey, alright, I'll ask Hobby to book your ticket. Just pack your things and get ready. Taehyung let out a breath of relief. Taehyung, thank you, honey. I need to do this before it's too late. Honey, in agreement. Honey, be careful. Taehyung, I will. The discuss. Taehyung wasted no time. He grabbed a casual shirt and a pair of jeans from his suitcase, throwing on a long overcoat for extra overrace. His hand moved quickly, gathering his some extra cash, his phone, and his passport. Taking one last look around the site, he exhaled deeply before stepping out. His heart pounded in his chest as he walked toward the exit of the building. Every step felt like a calm down. He had to disappear before Jungkook noticed anything. Once outside, he stopped at a small restaurant nearby and immediately walked in without hesitation. He headed straight to the bathroom. Standing in front of the mirror, he carefully removed the hair extension, letting them fall into the sink. His reflection changed instantly. No more Hana. Just Taehyung came. He pulled a cap over his head, adjusting the low enough to shadow his face. For extra measure, he struggled off into long overcoat and tossed it along with the fake hair into the bathroom trash bin. Taking one last look at himself, he nodded. This was it. He was free. Stepping out of the restaurant, Taehyung walked away and noticed his phone vibrate in his pocket. He pulled it out and saw a notification, a message from Hobby. His plane ticket was confirmed. A small, bittersweet smile from on his lips. His finger hovered over the screen before he whispered under his breath, as if speaking to someone far away. Goodbye, Mr. Jeon. I will surely take care of your son. With that, he turned his phone away and disappeared into the street of New York, leaving everything behind. Youngie's phone buzzed in his pocket the moment he saw Jungkook's name on the screen. He answered immediately. Jungkook, where are you, Youngie? I am about to enter the site, but his word trailed off as he spotted Hana stepping out of the building. Something about her seemed off. She was wearing a long overcoat, her head lowered, moving quickly as if trying to avoid attention. A gut feeling told him something wasn't right. He immediately put Jungkook on his speaker and followed her. Youngie boss Hana just left the building. She looked suspicious. There was silence on the other end before Jungkook's sharp voice cut thought. Jungkook followed her. Youngie didn't question the order. He kept his distance, telling Hana as she made her way to a nearby restaurant. She stepped inside. Youngie waited 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. She never came out. His grip tightened around his phone. Something was definitely wrong. He brought the phone back to his ear. Youngie, boss. She went inside the restaurant, but she hasn't come out. It's been almost 10 minutes now. The sound of the chair is scraping against the floor. In her thought, the call forward by a frustrated sign. Jungkook, that woman, go inside and investing now. Youngie was not wasted no time. Luckily, the restaurant was the high-end establishment, and the owner happened to be a close of Jungkook. Glancing across the security footage was easily, but what Youngie saw on the screen made his heart drop. The camera footage was blurry, but it was clear that Hana had deliberately avoided walking near the cameras. One thing stood out. She had entered the bathroom but had not walked out. Youngie rushed inside as soon as he pushed the door open. His eyes immediately locked into something in the trash bin. A long overcoated and hair extension. His stomach twist. This was not just suspicious, this was bad. A fumble from his phone, dialed Jungkook's number with emergency. The moment Jungkook answered, Youngie's voice came out in a rush. Youngie, boss, she's gone. A sharp intake of breath was heard from the other end. Jungkook, what do you mean gone? Youngie, I found her hair extension in the restaurant bathroom and the long overcoat she was wearing. She left it behind. There was silence. Then Jungkook's voice turned ice cold. Jungkook checked the security camera again, find out what time she left and what she was wearing. Young immediately got to work. He played the footage over and over, rewinding and paused at every possible frame. Then finally, there, finger stepping out of the restaurant, now overcoated, no long hair, just a casual shirt, jeans, and a cap pulled low over their face. Youngie swallowed hard. That was not Hana, that was someone else. Internally, his finger over his phone hesitated for a split second before calling Jungkook again. Youngie boss, she changed her appearance before leaving. Jungkook was dangerously calm. Jungkook, that means he's trying to disappear. Youngie cleans his jaw. Youngie, I'll check airport record. Jungkook, do it now. Find her before she steps on that clown. Jungkook ended the call and stood abruptly, causing the employee in the meeting room to flinch. Without another word, he stepped out. His driver barely had time to open the door before Jungkook slid inside, gripping the steering wheel tightly. He drove to the restaurant at full speed. The moment he arrived, Youngie handed him to laptop. Youngie, here is the footage. Jungkook jotted in as he watched the screen all again and again. His eye darkened with every second. The person walked out of the restaurant was not the woman he thought he knew. She had changed. She had fooled him. Jungkook gripped on the laptop tightened. Jungkook, call our contract at the airport. Check every flight that leaving today. Search her name. Youngie nodded immediately, pulled out his phone to make the necessary call. Meanwhile, Jungkook cleared his feet, his nail digging into his palm. He had been played, and he had been played. His voice came out in low, threatening whisper. Jungkook, you won't escape from me that easily, Hana, or whatever you really are.